So now you've learned the whole vibrational scale. We need some sort of reference to know how to navigate through the vibrational scale. The easiest one is your own center, right? So you've got a center of gravity, which is life force here, astral, mental, akasha, and light. So if you use that as a reference, you can use that as a tuning fork to get into the astral field, vital field, and whatnot. So when we're doing, say, rebounding exercises, and you want to be working just more astral energy, I tune into my own astral center and create that sphere around me, and I maintain my consciousness in that frequency, right? And this being the center of that frequency. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. So for people who can't feel that center yet, you would have noticed the mind is probably the most clear. Maybe. For me, that's the first thing that but then I couldn't feel my dantian or my middle dantian that much. But then you focus on it, it starts to reveal itself. Yeah, and then you start to identify the center of each of these frequencies. And then when you build a relationship with the center of these frequencies, then you get to control this from the center out. But it's also important to control from the out to in. Yeah, because whatever you do in repetition, you make it a habit. And for me, now I've made a habit out of doing it from the center and not from out there, which I have to kind of train it a bit more, you know, to get a good handle on it, which is also important. We need to do it from out there to in to out as well. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Out the centigrade out, right?
Sorry?
The centigrade, your mind,
yeah.
This moving here, like.
Well, not the center of gravity, it's the field, right? So you've got the electromagnetic field, right? The center of that being here and the field being out there, right? The center of the astral being here, the field being out there, like that, right? And it chortles around. So you want to feel the field as much as you feel the center of the field. Make sense? Yeah? Obviously the center will be easy to perceive because it's condensed. It's the center of gravity of it. But the field will be a little bit more subtle at the beginning, but you want to make that thicker and thicker and more perceptible. And yeah, you train both models to get good at it. If you only train one model, and that's going to be what you rely on, and that can be problematic for other stuff that you do. Yeah, and this is my own observation in terms of the training that I've been through. You always go to the one that works for you, you know, and you get stuck in that thing, and then you might need the other models later.
So which scenario is the field better for, compared to having?
Well, for example, if you use the center model, that's really good for wave effect. But for the field effect, you need to be in resonance with the field, right? And the field effect was something that was kind of always elusive for me because I relied too much on my own center. Yeah? Because with the field effect, I'm affecting the field, not me. It's not going from me to something, it's just happening there, right? Yeah?
You could start with your own field here and move that field with your mind.
Yeah, you can do it anyway. So if I borrow you for a sec. So for example, the wave, I reference my own vital center, my own center of gravity, and then I wave that to him. But if I've built the sensitivity to feel there without my body as a reference, I can go straight there to create that field effect. Do you know what I mean? But if I've relied on myself, like I need to generate from my body or my center to affect something, you're always going to be doing the wave model. You won't do the field model. And the field model is super important for a lot of other stuff that we do, not just for Fire Jin, but for higher practices.
That's what we train when we were keeping the peak of the wave outside of body.
Yeah, that's one way to get it as well. There, it's simple. You know how we did the exercise? Just feel the ball, and then feel the body, right? Just feeling the ball. So you're the ball, and I just switch it on. I forget about my body, right? So your own choroidal field is here. So I feel energy there, and so this is the interoception, exteroception, right? Exteroception only outside, not inside. Interoception only inside, not outside. So be clear on the distinction on being able to, so you're not mixing. And then there's the combination of the two, right? And this is where you come into a vibrational match with what you're doing. So right now, wave is me to him, right? Feel just in him. And then now I'm combining our frequencies together, right? which is important for evocation work and other stuff that we do. We want to create a vibrational match with the frequency that we're working with. That way there's no resistance. So extro, intro, and together. So you vibrationally match what you perceive on the outside.
Is that
No, proprioception is basically, so we have the 5 senses which we receive information from the physical world, which regulates in a lot of things, but balance, right? So when we talk about center of mass and center of balance is in the back of your brain, the hindbrain, cerebellum, right? And it receives information through proprioception, which is basically through the sense of touch, and it understands through movement and gravity and spatial awareness and sight. So you notice even with people with scoliosis, they won't go like this, they'll do this because the eyes need to stay balanced because it receives information on the horizontal plane. And then the hearing, the eardrums. So it receives information from there and relays it to the center of the back of the brain here, which is the center of balance, right? And then there's a magnetic relationship between the center of balance and the center of mass, which keeps it together. And the people who do balance work, this magnetic quality is super tight, right? It's strong. So that's why when you open it, it quickly shuts. So there's a small window of opening, yeah? That's proprioception. The more fascial integration you have, the biotensegrity, the more proprioception you have. Yeah, so that's why people who do balance work have better proprioception. Yeah.
Okay guys, if you're interested to take your practice to the next level, I encourage you to join the free online community that I've created. We have practitioners from all over the world. They're sharing their videos and progress. You can find training partners. They're sharing where their location is, and you might be able to find a training partner near your local area. In that platform, there's also a free training where you can start sensing life force, chi, ki, prana. But traditionally, they say it takes about 10 years to start feeling energy. This is incorrect. In this video, you'll start sensing in 7 minutes. So you can check that out if you want to get started. But if you want to jump straight in, there's also the LifeForce Mastery online course. It's a 6-step process on how you can start working with energy and start applying it into various aspects of your life. All of that is in the description box below. Cheers.